Here's a simplified case study. And this is based on an actual client that I did this for several years ago. I've actually done it for several clients now. But I mean, when you could do something like this, it is a slam dunk. It's the kind of thing that I do backflips over that we could actually do these for clients. So this scenario, American citizen retired to the UK with $1 million IRA. This client technically had a 401k. We did a rollover to an IRA, but basically started with a pre-tax $1 million IRA. Because of Social Security and pensions, he was already going to be in the 40% tax band in the UK as soon as he took any money out of his IRA. So in the UK, that was like roughly 50,000 pounds a year was what he was going to is where you're in that 40% band. He, between Social Security and his work pension, he was going to be making like the equivalent of 65,000 pounds a year. So on an after-tax basis, his $1 million IRA, when he started to pull that money out, whether he intentionally chose to pull it out or the required minimum distributions forced him to pull it out, it was going to be taxed at least 40%. And actually, a fair bit of it was going to be taxed at 45% more than likely. And so if you just say the 40% of that 1 million, that's $400,000. So his truly on an after-tax basis, his $1 million IRA was actually worth $600,000 as an IRA. So, but let's say instead that he's still in the US and we want to do a Roth conversion strategy. And in this case, the client, he came and started working with us in, I think, September of 1 year, and he was planning to move to the UK in May of the following year. So we had a window of over 6 months there, over 2 calendar years, that we could do some things while he was still US taxable. So what we did, because the US has generally low tax rates, and especially because this client was at a no tax state, we were able to go ahead and do a Roth conversion. And we converted the full $1 million IRA. We did it in 2 chunks. We did 500,000 in 1 year. We did 500,000 in the next year. They were only separated by a few weeks, but they were in 2 different calendar years. The effective tax rate he paid on that money was only 27%. So while that was still a lot of money to pay up front, the good news is he was left with a Roth IRA that was now worth $730,000. So he's already $130,000 better off than if he just moved to the UK and had this on an after-tax basis, a $600,000 IRA. The even better news, so Roths, where they work, they are so sweet. That was $730,000 of tax-free money. And the UK recognizes Roths. So that was money that was not going to be taxed again in the US or the UK. The growth on that account was going to be tax-free. So no income tax, no capital gains tax. And so, I mean, this was like completely like a slam dunk. So we ended up, the client was better off from the start. And over time, it's just going to get better and better for him. And he gets to avoid RFDs. So he gets full control over how he wants to manage this account.